So that's what we have seen in the last class, like how the user master record is there, and then how the whenever means we want to give the access to the user, so we have to create a user. So once we create a user, that means user master record has been created. After that, we have to create a profile. So the profile is nothing but we have to use for the purpose whenever we create a role, anyhow the profile will be assigned and or the role will be assigned. And then we have the authorization. So authorization, like a role contain the authorization, and authorization means which bring or which is coming from the authorization object, and authorization object contain the fields and values. Okay, so that is the purpose of it. Okay, right. So that is this idea about this, and then and then like that is how the person will get the authorization, because the specific value is also required to get the specific authorization from the user. So, like the authorization object and transaction, which is a deciding factor for a user or a person, like how the person will get the access, right? Now, now here we have seen like in the SAP there. Okay, once again, let me start the recording also. So the important thing here, like whenever we are creating a role, so there is a basic role that we call a single role, which is especially used for the purpose of providing access to the user. So that is one type of role. That's what we have seen in the system, and and here whenever we want to create a single role, so which is a simple role we call, and by which we are able to provide the access to the user. Then we will be checking something like a how the access will be coming. Like we have given the transaction in a role, but how the SAP brings some authorization object into the role. Like if you go to the PFCG and then if you create a role in the last class, like we have seen, we just see it again also. So security a role, for example, and just quick revision like what we are doing here. Role for security team, and then here we can add the transaction. So like if you are adding a transaction like EFCG or SU01, so SU01, so the people need the access of security here. Then we go to the authorization. After the authorization, we go inside. So we have to click on change authorization data. And after making a change authorization data, system is asking this some of the OR values. So if we give a star, means it's for all the OR value. And see the important thing here, system will bring these many authorization objects. Okay, how these many authorization object is coming here? These authorization is coming because of the SU24. So SU24 is the transaction which is having a relation between the transaction code and authorization object. So if we add SU01, like we have added SU01 in this role, correct? So if you see in SU24 transaction, uh, So here you can see these many users are there. So so these many authorization object you can see S underscore T code anyhow default, but these authorization object SEC, AGR, ATT, AUT. So only these many authorization object where check and yes is there, only that is coming into the system. So here also if you see S underscore SEC POL, S
Sir,
underscore
can you
SEC
just repeat
POL.
the
Yeah.
can you just repeat the previous just SU24 thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So here,
No, sir, before the SU24 screen.
yeah. So before the SE24 screen, like we have created a role, and then
Mm-hmm.
in the role we have added the authorization like SU01 in the role menu, right?
Yeah.
So this SU01 transaction we added, and then once we go to the authorization and go with the change authorization data, then then we are able to see these many like authorization object is coming here into the system, right? So in this, how this authorization object coming here? Okay, why only this? Because in SU24, if you go to SU24 and keep here the SU24, this transaction code like for which the authorization object is coming, if you run here, only these authorization object is coming here. So these authorization object is S underscore user group, plog, security, POL. Only this is coming. Why only this is coming? Because only for these authorization object, we have the value check and yes. That is the reason it is coming here. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So, so now if you see here also, we just comparing it S underscore user group, S underscore user group, you can say here, S plog is here, right? And then if you see SCCPOL is here, right? Then you can say S underscore user AGR, which is here. ATT is here, right? So likewise, SAUT is here, right? PRO is here, right? SAS is here, and system is also there. So means these many authorization object is coming from there to here, correct? And that is the main purpose. That's what we can see. The authorization object is controlled from the SU24. So this is one interrogation people is always asking, what is the purpose of SU24? And is that we can change SU24 value? The answer is yes, we can change SU24 value. Then the next thing is then next thing is like how to use SU24 for other things. So the point here, SU24 is used for custom transaction. What that means of custom transaction? Suppose these many transaction is a standard transaction which is given by SAP, and and in case and in case if the user is in case in case if the user uh, or maybe like think over like if you had to change any value normally for a standard transaction, because this is SAP transaction, we are not changing any value here. But if you can change, the object is not coming. So we have the option to change it here. Maybe we can show you, but normally we not change this value. So if you come here and go with the change, so this is an option for change. And then you suppose you say that, okay, whenever you add here, so this specific object will not come into the system. Okay. For example, maybe S underscore user says, right? So this object, if you don't want, so what you can do, you can come here default status. So here, if you say no, so what we say, it is now changed to check and no. So whenever we make the changes to the system, like it will be changed here. So we have to save first the changes. We have to change the access, and we okay. Then we can create a transport request, because whenever we are making changes to SU24, it will be asking a transport request. Say okay. So now we change this, and then let's see what will happen. So now we go to the role change. I just not saving it. I just go back, and then we go to the PSCJ again, and then try to recreate again the role. So here now you can say this object is not coming, where you mark check and yes. Is it correct? So here you can say, so here you can say only this much is there. So this object is where we mark check and no is not coming, right? The system one is not coming here, right? SYS was there. So so that is not coming because we mark as check and no. And now suppose we give all the authorization, and then we can say okay, and we can provide the access to the user for this SU0. We generate a role. Whenever we generate a role, the corresponding profile is gets generated, and then once the profile is gets generated, we are able to provide the access to the role, access to the user via this role. Okay. So let's see. So till here, any question by anyone, or all okay?
Yes, because
Okay, Akshay, anything from you? Upendra, Oman, anything?
yes, yes.
No, it does.
Okay. Uh, Okay. Okay, good. T- Today Priyanka not joined. Okay. Okay. So then one more important thing here. There is one more transaction is there, which is SU22. So SU22 is a transaction which is especially used for the purpose of like SAP. Okay, wait, before that, one more thing. Like SU24, whenever we say SU24, so or and whatever the value we maintain here, or whatever the value we can see here, which will be used for the purpose of, which is used for the purpose of like bringing the specific authorization object and values here, and where it is getting saved. So that is getting saved into two tables. So let's see these two tables. One is SE16. So AU, so USOBX underscore USOBX. So this is one table which is used for that purpose. So if you keep here like SU01, just example. So this is also they will be asking in which table it is getting stored. So it is getting stored into two table, USOBX underscore C and USOBT underscore C. Okay.
What does it stand for? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
what are the significance of
I'm
these
telling,
tables? Yeah.
wait, 2 minutes. So not a stand for, but see SU24 data is getting saved into these two tables. So if you see here, SU01 is there, and USOBX means it is containing the transaction code and then the authorization object, which is linked here. Okay. So in this, you can say these many authorization object is associated with that here, but only the value you can see here where you have the value yes. So if you filter with the value yes, for example, check flag. 1 second, let me just filter it with the check flag yes. So which is this one. And if you say running, so only these many authorization object which in the SU24 you mark is check and yes is there. Right? So if I open the parallelly the SU24 for SU01, we can compare it. Right? So means with this table, you can see here these many tables are there, and these only these values visible here. Check and yes, like user group, the security policy, user ATT, AUT, PRO, US. You can say security policy, PLOG, user group. Only these are is this one here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? This is anyhow default. So, and one more important thing here, only the authorization object and transaction will be visible here. Okay. But what about the other things? The other things here, there one more table is there because if you see here for these authorization object, if you double click here, it is saying like a plog having these many authorization object. If you click on any other object, Okay, something is not working. But if you click here, it will show you the other object and the values. Okay. So that is again dependent on the other table, or it is getting saved into another table, which is US OBT underscore C. So how to read US OBT underscore C? So SE16. If you go inside, here also if you can keep SE01, so it will be having the transaction code, all the authorization objects, and the corresponding value inside the authorization object. So if you see here for plog, if you see here the plog, what values it has? It has these many values. Okay. So if you take from the top plog, in the plog it has info type, ISTAT, OBTY. So these fields are there. So if you see here, it also has these fields, info type. So the difference is like first of all, SU24 data saved into two table, USOBX underscore C and USOBT underscore C. Okay. And second thing, second thing is second thing is here it is containing like US OBT underscore C contain the transaction authorization object and the field values. Whereas US OBX will be containing only the authorization object, transaction and authorization object. Whereas US OBT underscore C contain the transaction code, authorization object, fields, and value detail level, right? So that is the purpose of that. Understood, everyone? Any question by anyone? So people will be asking interrogation, two, three questions in here. First of all, like what is the purpose of SU24? So SU24 is the purpose to see which transaction is linked with which authorization object. That is one thing. Second thing is in which table it's getting stored. So that it is getting stored into two table, US OBX underscore C and US OBT underscore C. Then third thing, like what is the difference between US OBX and underscore C and US OBT underscore C? The difference is this particular US OBX underscore C will contain the transaction code and authorization object, whereas US OBT underscore C contain transaction authorization object and values, fields and values. Okay, got it, everyone? All right.
Yes.
So then we'll be learning one more thing that perhaps maybe later, but first we are going to see then we are going to see here like the other different type of roles. So we have seen only the single role. Then we have something called a composite role. What is the meaning of the composite role here? So the composite role is especially used for the purpose. So then we have something like composite role. So what is the purpose of this composite role? So see, the composite role especially utilized here to like clubbing the role or combine the role into one. Combine in the sense, like if suppose one user is there who need access in the sales role and also some common access also he need. So instead of giving two roles to one person, we can combine this role into one. What that means here, let's understand with the Excel. So take example like one user is there. Maybe Atik is one user who is working as a sales manager, and then he need access to some sales roles, right? And also he need the some common role. Okay, so these two access is required by this user. So one way is like we can assign these two roles together to his ID, and then he is able to access directly. Another way is like the best way, and assume like he needs some other other roles also. For example, sales report, right? So one way is like assign one by one all this role to the user, or best way is like we can club all these three single role into one, which we call as a composite role. So what we can do, we have one concept in SAP to create a composite role. Suppose we create one role, SAP composite sales manager role. So in this composite role, we can bring all this single role in one. So if we assign this role to Atik, then it inherit automatically or it get automatically user will get all these three roles indirectly, right? So what is the advantage here? The advantage is if you assign composite role to the user, first of all, the maintenance is low. Okay, so maintenance is low, so that's what you are able to see these roles into the system in one go. So and also the user, we are not going to miss any role to the user. So maintenance wise, it is easier, and look wise also is better. Okay, so how we can create a composite role? Let's see. So to create, normally whenever we are creating composite role, we use the letter C. That is not a mandatory one, so that we have the indication that this is a composite role. Then if it is we are creating for SD, then we can create a SD, and then we can say like a sales underscore manager, correct? And then here, while creating composite role, here we have the option. Click on create. So see, in the single role, we are not able to add the transaction. So this is also an interview question, what we do in the role. So in the single role, first of all, we are not able to add any transaction. So, so that is one advantage. And second thing is we are able to add only the roles, single roles. So let's add here. Sorry, the sales model, some other. So we can add those single rows, okay? And we just have to save. That simple it is, right? Understood? Till here, everyone? Any question? And then if we create a single role, let's assign this. So SU01. Suppose suppose Atik is there as a user. Suppose now if you want to add here the role composite role, so we can copy here and then roles and see that once we assign the composite role to the user, only these roles is coming as the indirect, okay? So that is what we can, okay? That is the idea. And okay, so this is like you can see here the composite role, and these are the role coming from single rows. So that is this idea. Okay. All right, everybody. Any question in it? Okay. Any question by anyone till here?
Yes. So because what is difference between the single role and composite role?
See, the single role is an individual role. Okay. And whereas the composite role is a combination of the single roles. Okay. So composite role by itself, it doesn't contain the code or authentication by themselves. It is coming from these single roles only. So if you have these three single role assigned in it, so user is going to get all these three roles indirectly. Okay.
In single roles, we have the different tabs, and the composite roles also different tabs. Yes.
Correct. Different tabs only. Yeah.
I think single role is an application. Here we have the some roles it will be there. Could you please explain those things?
Which one? Which one? Which one you are saying?
Sorry, because
You said something. Not getting. Come again.
I think single row. Whenever create the single row,
Mm,
we have in the five types as like description roles, and this is the composite role.
mm,
I think it is there in single row. We have the one more application is also there, but
mm.
here we don't have that thing. Yes.
Yeah, that is a difference. Yes, that's correct.
So what is the when we are using the application and why it is there? Thing?
Mm. Yeah. So, so the point here is, see here the description is especially used as a best practice, as I mentioned earlier also. So whenever you are creating a role, it's not mandatory again, but normally we keep here the dates here. Like whenever we are creating a role, we keep here the ID. For example, if we are creating a role with some IDs, our IDs, right?
Yes, our ID is something long. You mentioned that the why it is creating like that as we're saying.
No, yeah, I'm not.
Oh,
Wait, just
okay.
wait. Just wait. And suppose my ID is here, we can see. Okay, so this is the purpose like here to add the description here. Okay, more changes like suppose on 10th we got new changes to add one more composite role in this. Your client says that, right? Something we say. So that is the main purpose of it. Okay. Then we have something called a user. So user tab used especially like if you assign this role to a user. So let's see that we assign this role to a user. Update. Okay, this role has been assigned. So what will happen if you just go and come back here? User is there. So means which role has been assigned to which user, you can see the list here. Next thing is menu. So what is the purpose of the menu here? So see the menu is like in the transaction in these roles you have some transactions, right? So it inherit the specific transaction into the role. So in the menu you have the option for import menu. So if you import here, so you can see whatever the transaction in there that will come here automatically, or this is inherited from the roles, the single role which we added here. Okay, all right, understood, everybody. Okay, so is that okay, everybody? Any question till here? And personalization normally we are not using, so leave out this personalization. Then the question is like the single role. In single role also we have some tabs. So especially in the S4 HANA system, which is a new system, in that you have additional tab which we call as a user application. So the purpose of this application here, you can see in so you can see here the transaction is there. Likewise, since S4 HANA system have other application also like Fiori application or web application. So this will be coming here. Then you can see the application types here. Okay. So that is the purpose of here the transaction. But if you see in the ECC system, which is the original ECC or old ECC system, in that you cannot see the application as a name. Okay. Okay. Understood everybody? Any question till here by anyone? All right, everybody. So description is the same. Menu is the one where we can add the menu in this application. Especially, we don't have to do that, but it will show you the application which we added here. So if suppose you add here the catalog. So here we have something called a Fiori related catalog. So if you add any catalog here, so it will bring the catalog there in the application. Okay. For example, if we add this catalog, just add, or something I'm adding. This is like a catalog, right? Just generate it. Okay. So in this role, you can see one more things are coming, which is application, right? You can see some additional things coming, not only the SC01 as a transaction. Correct, no? Open. So that you can see something BW catalog based analytical request like this.
Could you please explain again this whole application?
Here, if we add any new object, like instead of transaction, if you add something like a catalog, so this is a catalog which is having these many applications, which is HTTP application. So in this application tab, you can see how many different type of application you have in the role. Because from here, you can see something like a catalog, but you cannot see what is that actually, right? From here, you can only see some other detail. But if you want to see the only the application as a brief, you can see it from here, right? So HTTP services are there. It's in services, in-house services. Likewise, you can see some services coming here. So this is especially for S4 system. Okay, like a Fiori system. So right now, anyhow, we are not learning what is the Fiori system. Right now, we are learning like ECC security. So that you can ignore for now. Okay, so 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 that
Okay.
is not in scope right now. Okay, in your ECC system, you cannot see that application, right?
Yes, I think workflow we save that.
Yeah. So that is okay, workflow, but that is also not used normally in ECC. This will be only for the HR system. If you have the HR system, then the workflow come into picture. Okay, all right, everybody. Any question?
Because what is the use of catalogs? Can you please tell me again?
That is for S4HANA security. Okay,
Mhm.
so this is the advanced version of ECC where instead of transaction, suppose the Fury is something, instead of transaction, if you want to click on any web link. So that is the reason it is coming there. Okay.
Okay. Mm.
So to provide the access for this Fury, it will be coming from here, from the role. Then we have to add the catalog, and in the catalog it is coming there. So maybe here I could show you. Maybe let's try. So this is the link to log into Fury. Okay. So since this system is Fury, so that's what you can see here, those detail. So what you can see now, this is nothing but a Fury application. Okay. So means whatever the things you can do from transaction in the new system, instead of running a transaction, you can click on here and able to do all the activity from this place. Okay. Likewise. So if you want to change the material, you have to come here and do that activity. Understood everybody or still question? All right. Yes, these are advanced topic. That is not in the scope right now because we are learning SAP security. So that's the reason. But, but he asked, not not in this course, maybe a later point of time. Not now because this is later. Says Shivam asked, so that's what I just showed. Okay, so that's the thing for today. But if you have any previous question, let me know. Anybody? You did the exercise and you found something missing? Owen, any question from you? You are able to perform the activity?
Yes, sir. If is there any question, then for sure I will ask. So,
So you are able to perform all this activity, is it? The assignment?
no, sir, not yet.
So means you have the now time to do this activity, everybody. Or Upendra, Atik, any question, Akshay, Shivam, Ved, any question from you?
Um, no, because from my end, everything is fine.
Okay, so that's the thing for today's, and then we'll meeting again the next weekend, and then we are going to see. But do this practice, because you try to run I stress out, like run PFCG, create some singular, create some composite role, just check SU24. What is the purpose? Check SE like USOVX underscore C, USOVT underscore T. What is that table? What is coming? Just observe it. Very important. Okay. Try to create a role, 2, 3 rows, add some transactions. This will be really helpful for you. Okay. All right, everyone. So then, till then, take care. Enjoy your day and do practice. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, then. Welcome.